A scholar has warned feminism has become a megachurch, replacing faith, family, and Christian virtue. Gary Gress argues the movement functions as a secular megachurch targeting women with false promises. I believe that modern feminism is basically a tell women whatever they want to hear, they can have it all, and grift. It's a grift. There's like what? First, second, third, fourth, fifth wave feminism. The reality is we should never tolerate like a dude beating his wife, but everybody agrees. We shouldn't tolerate anybody sexually assaulting anybody, be it a man or a woman, though women tend to be victims from men. Though, yes, men can be victims as well. The statistics are obviously going to skew in one direction. And I don't think it's feminism to say, or perhaps we can go back to first wave feminism and say, yes, we're not going to tolerate a dude beating his wife. Now, what is feminism? Feminism is women should be CEOs, but shouldn't be garbage men. Women should be able to have it all. They should be financially independent, have families. No. The reality is that men and women are different. Family structure exists for a biological and evolutionary reason, or if you're a Christian, it exists for a reason that God intended it to exist as. That is, women are more likely to raise the kids and nurture them. They literally make the babies and feed the babies. And men will go fight grizzly bears and most of them will die. But feminism now says women can do everything a man can do and have a family. And what's happened is we've realized the truth. Yeah, there's no families anymore. Society is actually breaking down, and Democrats are basically just flooding the country with illegal immigrants to compensate for the fact that we don't have families anymore. Young men think that largely feminism is hurtful. It causes more harm than good. And there is a growing wave of young men who are saying repeal the 19th, the amendment that gave women the right to vote. Here's a story from Fox News. An author of 11 books, including an upcoming title on feminism, says the movement has evolved into a kind of secular megachurch with its own doctrines, rituals, and moral code. One that she argues now serves as a substitute for faith, family, and the traditional Christian virtue. Quote, feminism actually is not a subset of Christianity. It's actually a rival to Christianity, Carrie Gress, a fellow at the Institute for Human Ecology at Catholic University of America, told Fox News Digital in a recent interview. Gress is the author of the forthcoming book, quote, Something Wicked, Why Feminism Can't Be Fused with Christianity, which she says examines how feminism has quietly captured the minds and hearts of women by mimicking aspects of Christianity. Through its own commandments, virtues, evangelization, and even a sacrament, feminism has become an exceedingly powerful megachurch. In many respects, it can actually be seen as a megachurch. It has taken on so many of the aspects of Christianity. According to Gress, feminism was designed from its earliest roots as a substitute belief system, one she says is fundamentally incompatible with Christianity. So feminism has its own sacraments, virtues, rites, evangelization, all of that. The simplest example is to look at what I call the commandments of feminism. And I will add this. But let's pause real quick to give a shout out to today's sponsor, PDS Debt. Check out pdsdebt.com/Timcast today. Debt from credit cards isn't an accident. It's a system built to keep Americans down. The banks profit, the creditors win, and families lose. Every call, every fee, and every high-interest trap is another reminder the game is rigged. But there's another side of the story. PDS Debt has already helped hundreds of thousands fight back, cutting debt, ending the calls, and putting money back where it belongs in Americans' pockets, not the banks. Whether you're struggling with credit cards, personal loans, or medical bills, PDS Debt has custom options to help you get out of debt. They go beyond the numbers to understand your unique financial situation and craft a personalized plan designed just for you. There's no minimum credit score required. They're here to help you save more, pay off your debt faster, and start putting money back where it belongs in your pocket. PDS Debt is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, boasts thousands of 5-star reviews on Google, and holds a 5-star rating on Trustpilot. Why? Because PDS has helped hundreds of thousands of people get out of debt. It's your money. It's your future. Don't let the system decide for you. You're 30 seconds away from being debt-free. Get your free assessment and find the best option for you right now at pdsdebt.com/Timcast. That's pdsdebt.com/Timcast. The conversation around intersectional feminism from 10 years ago that it was a non-theistic religion. It has priests, proselytizers. It has apostates. And now it's the modern version of whatever woke is. There are 3 of them. These are the commandments. And they started actually back in the early 1800s. Percy Bysshe Shelley, husband of Frankenstein author Mary Shelley, is the romantic poet who actually put them together. These ideas of his in-laws, his mother-in-law Mary Wollstonecraft and his father-in-law William Godwin, and then his own idea. And these ideas were to have contempt for men, to really shun monogamy, and to embrace promiscuity, and then to be involved in the occult. And those are sort of the 3 tenets of feminism. Isn't that 4? Contempt for men, shun monogamy, embrace promiscuity, and involved in the occult. But I guess what they're saying is shun monogamy and embrace promiscuity is one thing. So, okay. Gress's argument echoes earlier reporting and scholarship that have explored similar themes. A 2015 article in The Atlantic entitled, "When Feminism Becomes Religion." The feminist movement today has startling similarity to religious fundamentalism. There is the same dogmatism, the same zealous fervor, the same fear, the same clinging to certainty, and the absolute conviction in one's own correctness. Dissenters are marginalized, castigated, and even cast out. The psychology is identical. All that differs are the goals. The article, authored by Chris Bodner, a former senior editor at The Atlantic, continued. But just as with religious extremists, feminists are fearful of what science might do to their perfect tapestry of beliefs and what it might lead to in a society, even if this doesn't make any sense. It saddens me that friends I grew up with who were negatively affected by this mindset in the context of religion have traded that in for a different version. I wonder. I have a question, my friends. Are women more susceptible to cults? Let's pull up our friend Grok. I'm going to go ahead and assume the answer is no. Are women more susceptible? Let's see. To cults. Uh-oh. Why do women join cults? That's funny. That was one of the things. Interesting that it pulled that up. Why do women join cults? That's really interesting. Why is it changing what I wrote? Let's wait. Than men? Women are more susceptible to cults than men. Interesting. That was a default on Grok. Yes. Check this out. This is exactly it. It is a cult. Yes, on average, women are more represented in many cults and high-control religious groups than men, though the gap varies by group and it's not universal. The Jonestown was 70% women. Heaven's Gate was 55 to 60% women. Branch Davidians in Waco was 65% women. Rajneesh Osho, 60 to 65 women. Nixium, 80% women. Many modern multi-level marketing schemes that function like cults are 90% women. New religious movements, sociological surveys of NRMs in the US and Europe typically show female majorities ranging from 55 to 70%. Some groups are male-heavy, certain jihadist or far-right political sects. Scientology's Sea Org's been closer to 50-50. Researchers point to several overlapping factors that statistically make women more vulnerable to recruitment. Cults often market themselves as sources of community, belonging, healing, and unconditional love. Needs that women on average score higher on in personality research. Higher average agreeableness and neuroticism in the big 5 traits. Recruiters consciously exploit this. Women are socialized more towards relational harmony, self-sacrifice, and deference to authority in many cultures, making them less likely to challenge charismatic leaders early on. Women are more likely to be primary caregivers, face career interruptions, or seek meaning during life transition, divorce, empty nest, trauma. Windows that cults target aggressively. Women seek therapy and support groups at higher rates. Many cults disguise themselves as therapy. Women's empowerment circles, yoga, spiritual retreats, or self-help seminars. Entry points that appeal disproportionately to women. In groups with male leaders, the majority, the promise of access to a special or enlightened man can be a draw. Conversely, female recruits are sometimes used as bait to bring in men later. Wow. Men join cults too, often for status, power, or ideological reasons. When you control for the type of group, the gender gap largely disappears in the latter. Some scholars argue the difference is overstated because women are simply more visible in communal living arrangements, while men may participate more peripherally. Across the majority of documented high-control spiritual and self-help cults of the last 50 years, women join and stay at higher rates than men. typically 60 to 80% female membership. The reasons are a mix of socialization, life circumstance, and deliberate recruitment tactics that exploit gender differences in emotional and relational needs. So yes, women are, on average, more susceptible to the kind of groups most people label cults. And there it is. And that's an interesting prospect for these podcasts with large female audiences. The things they describe, the stories they tell, the way they describe them, it's a little bit more culty than what men do, because men are always arguing with each other. Even the guys who agree on, say, Timcast IRL are still largely disagreeing with each other. And we get along, though, in those disagreements. Women, on the other hand, are social, and I believe through evolutionary pressures, or if you're Christian, simply because the way God made women and men to be different, then women are going to be more seeking to fit in with the social order. And these cults who have a strong male figure, it is not surprising. Think about it from an evolutionary standpoint. Almost all primates function in a similar way. A single male beats up all the other men and bangs all the women. Why? Because then the strongest male has all the children. The women then have children, and those kids are more closely, they're more like the stronger male. Humans are a bit different. We have monogamy. Though there are some, I believe the bonobo may also have monogamy. Humans may just be overly social in that in early human history, they may have functioned very similarly. The strong male would beat out all the other males and get whichever one he liked. One thing is true, however, still in human sexual market dynamics, the most desirable male seeks out the most desirable female. It is not surprising then that you see these cults, or say like feminism, for instance, functioning as a religion as they describe it. Now, I would say that's a cult, right? Because it's not really a religion. There's no faith structure. There's no question of morality and life. It's literally just falling in line with the social order. Women fighting for the attention of the strong, special man that everybody wants. It's funny, they say wearing a wedding ring will make you more attractive to many women because they can see you're desirable. I think gender is largely bimodal. Women have tendencies and men have tendencies. And the female tendency makes them more susceptible to non-theistic religion, cults, this new feminist machine, whatever it is. And you'll find they largely just want to fit in. This is why we see wokeness as a predominant function of the left, and the left dominated by women. It's all about social adherence. So I take a look at any movement that refers to themselves in the plural. That's a very feminine thing, isn't it? It's very culty, isn't it? Strangely, according to Christianity, it's also demonic. Ain't that funny? Demons refer to themselves as we and us. We are legion. Perhaps because there's more than one demon possessing a person, or because the demons are a hive, and they communicate as if they are more than one person. And you'll see this in cults. Women being more susceptible, you see this in wokeness, which feminism largely is a representative of. I think it's fine to say that there are certain components of feminism that we can embrace, but whatever it is now, it's actually more culty than anything, and I think the scholar is correct. I'm going to wrap it up there. Smash that like button, share the show with everyone you know. Stay tuned. More to come. You can follow me on X and Instagram at Timcast. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you all in the next segment.